Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today from our Islamabad studio. I'm Chris Taylor. International tensions are intensifying as the United States and Iran remain locked in high-stakes negotiations over Tehran's nuclear program. U.S. President Donald Trump has demanded a complete shutdown of Iran's highly enriched uranium stockpile, while American officials claim they have received a verbal guarantee from Tehran regarding nuclear weapons ambitions. However, Iran's chief negotiator says no formal agreement will be signed unless Iranian maritime rights are protected. Meanwhile, U.S. Central Command has expanded naval operations in response to rising friction with Iranian forces in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says dialogue between Tehran and Washington remains active, but cautioned against drawing premature conclusions. Speaking to state media, Araghchi emphasized that message exchanges and discussions are ongoing and that meaningful outcomes should be judged only when concrete progress is achieved. His comments come amid broader diplomatic efforts aimed at reducing tensions and exploring future agreements between both countries. Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council is preparing for an emergency session on Monday to discuss Israel's expanding military operations in Lebanon. The meeting was requested by France following reports that Israeli forces captured the historic Beaufort Castle. Diplomatic sources indicate the session will follow another emergency meeting related to a Russian drone crash into a residential building in Romania. Turning to regional security, Pakistan's military leadership says recent developments have reinforced the importance of deterrence in South Asia. Speaking at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, Lieutenant General Nauman Zakaria said Pakistan's response during the May 2025 conflict with India effectively challenged the notion that conventional war remains a viable option in the region. He stressed the importance of crisis communication, escalation control, and international cooperation in areas including artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and space governance. Now to developments in Pakistan's energy sector. Power Minister Awais Laghari says negotiations with Chinese power producers over tariff reductions have yet to deliver satisfactory outcomes. However, he says revised agreements with other independent power producers have already generated savings exceeding 3.5 trillion rupees, helping lower electricity costs. The minister also stated that subsidies have been reduced, industrial electricity tariffs cut by 33%, and new registration systems introduced to better target support. For more on this story, we go to Sarah William in Islamabad.
Thank you, Chris. Government officials say reforms in the power sector remain central to broader economic restructuring efforts. Authorities argue that lowering electricity costs for industries could improve competitiveness and encourage investment activity. At the same time, officials maintain that targeted subsidies are necessary to control financial pressures while ensuring support reaches eligible households. Discussions with power producers are expected to continue as policymakers seek additional savings.
Thank you, Sarah. Turning now to economic developments, the government of Pakistan has officially announced that the federal budget for the upcoming fiscal year will be presented before Parliament on June 5th. Official sources say the economic plan is expected to include significant salary relief measures for government employees. At the same time, the State Bank of Pakistan continues efforts to expand digital payment systems and accelerate the shift toward cashless financial transactions. And finally, security preparations are intensifying ahead of the June 7th elections in Gilgit-Baltistan. Authorities have deployed 6,000 personnel from Punjab Police to reinforce election security across the region. The deployment includes anti-riot units and special transport arrangements for officers assigned to election duty. Separately, Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi has briefed Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on measures aimed at ensuring peaceful, secure, and well-organized polls. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today. I'm Chris Taylor.